Welcome to Soul Unedited. I'm your host, Vanessa, a trained intuitive with a crazy curiosity for all things Source and all that Source has created, including us. This podcast is about aligning with your true self. Your true self is who you are before the world got its hands on you, before others' opinions, cultural conditioning, and the inaccurate conclusions you drew as a kid became your belief system, the things that we've been told on repeat that do not align with our inherent value and joy. So come with me on this journey of soul remembrance, of aligning with the core of who you really are, to unravel the old patterns and programming that no longer serve you, upgrade your consciousness, master your emotions, and flow with the power of your endless potential. Welcome to Soul Unedited. I'm your host, Vanessa, and I just wanted to do a quick little introduction of myself. So I am a trained intuitive. I have been in the spiritual world for most of my life. I was born into 3 different types of Christianity, is what I like to say. I had a Catholic grandmother, Pentecostal, charismatic parents who went to a very small Hispanic church in South Phoenix, and I also attended Christian private school with the Lutherans, I think it was first, and then junior high and high school was like the Baptist Methodists. And then throughout my adult life, I journeyed into more of an agnostic view. Wasn't quite atheist, but at one point I was very much like, I do believe that there's one origination of where we all come from. Then I've realized that I didn't want to live a life without the possibility of magic, essentially, of the impossible being possible. And I journeyed back into the spiritual world more on the new age side of things. Got into some of the wellness parts of the spiritual world with yoga, and did some fun things like got into full moon and new moon gatherings where, we do like a little astrology lesson, look at some oracle cards, and it brought me back to my inherent high level intuitive gifts that I didn't realize I had shut down. And it also introduced me to a whole world of absent of light that I wasn't necessarily aware that had been a part of my entire journey. A lot of things that I couldn't explain now had a little bit more context of why I had shut some certain gifts down. And then when I started to reconnect again, of a lot of the things that led me to where I am today. And I am now an energy healer, trained intuitive, and a light worker, light warrior-esque role. I discovered that really stepped a lot of things up. Intuitively explained a lot about why I'm here and what I'm called to help people with in their lives, especially when it comes to discovering their soul path and soul pool and finding peace within the chaos. Anyone who's felt really overwhelmed by life, or feel like there's something more, something that they know, something they've been searching for, and just people who've felt like highly sensitive souls, very empathic, and feel like it's super difficult to thrive in a world where they can feel and are taking on a lot of other people's stuff. And it wasn't until I found this particular work of the energetics and this side of the spiritual world that I finally feel like I have myself back. And it was all planned by my higher self. It's not that I didn't feel like myself ever, but there is definitely this component that she's been slowly but surely leading me towards. And now I feel like it's actually possible to master your emotions. It's actually possible to master your thoughts and to master the self. And how a lot of what I thought I wanted was not even mine. And the journey back to my true self, my heart pulls, my intuition, to my higher self, to who I really am, all really came down to understanding what unconditional self-love really means. Anytime that source is described, they're described as an emotion, as that purest form of unconditional love, that paired with the universal laws of this realm. And if you want to learn more about the realms, I actually have a video on that on a different platform. I'll link it down in the show notes. And yeah, just Earth is soul school. It's a planet of perceptions and a place where the soul comes to know that what the soul knows works in a physical plane, in the energetic and the physical. You've probably heard we're spiritual beings living in a human existence. Yeah, we are. We're everything's, I wouldn't say 50-50 energetic and physical, because it's 100% both. And we'll talk about the law of balance and how it applies to this universe. And if you found your way to this podcast, more than likely you are what I like to call an older sibling soul. You're a teacher, a healer, a leader, and you probably have had a hard time finding that information because of that whole memory wipe thing. Super inconvenient, right? You have a lot to remember. And I'm here to help you remember, to find that peace in the chaos by finding that peace within you. I know it sounds corny as fuck, but it's true. It's an inside out world. Everything you believe about yourself, either from a place of love or from a place of lack of love, the whole world is built on showing you how to come back to complete love. Yes, the universe is actually conspiring in your favor, contrary to popular belief. And anytime you hold a limited view of who you really are, which is a child of the all that is, whether you believe in God, the universe, source, just the place that we all come from, that originating light, you are a part of that. We all are. That place of the purest form of unconditional love. And anytime that we fall out of alignment with that, we put the universe in a position to have to have that opposite stance of saying, hold on, you just fell out of love with yourself here. I need you to come back to that because you're too important and too special. You, every single one of us, has a unique soul plan and soul mission, a gift to give to this planet. Yes, you are a gift. You were built uniquely and especially for that soul path, soul pool that only you can fulfill. And because of that, we really need you. And we need you to see yourself in the complete limitlessness and fullness of who you are at your core. And that's why I've created this podcast. Why I'm here to remind you of all of this. And my greatest desire is for you to realize source within, that guiding light, your inner voice, your intuition, and to follow no other voice except your truth. And that's the truth of who your higher self and source created you and built you to be, along with everything else that is the soul essence of you, which we can get into that as well. And be a little bit more of the esoteric topics there, past lives, the Akashic records, your soul archive. And I'm so excited for you to be here and to be able to share all of these things that I've learned and help you align back with your true self path. So thank you so much for being here. And I will talk to you again very, very soon.